All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to winners round number 3 of the Super Metroid 80% tournament. Tonight we've got an excellent matchup between Zoast and LynxXUnlimited. And yeah, this is going to be a really great matchup, two excellent runners. My name is Kip. I will be on commentary for you tonight. If you guys were looking forward to getting away from me after my last commentary about an hour ago, I have bad news. I'm sorry, I'm back for more. So I hope you enjoy the race here. And one thing I'll go ahead and tell you, I know both runners will be running new route, so this will be a pretty easy race to see exactly who's ahead or behind by how much. So it should be a lot of fun here. Okay, looks like we are going to be getting started here. Both runners starting in series station. And we'll be heading to see Ridley for the first time in the run. Before we get into this race fully, I need to go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors, vie.gg, that's vie.gg. They have been gracious enough to sponsor this tournament and provide a cash prize. And you guys can check out everything they have to offer in terms of betting on some of these races. If you type !bet into the chat, it'll give you the link and show you the information that you need. So very cool of them to sponsor the tournament. This is the first sponsored Super Metroid tournament that I'm aware of. So really happy to be a part of it. And here we see both players. They're going to now start their series escape. Got a little bit of RNG in this section. It's kind of hard to tell exactly where the steam is going to happen and where it's not. So they won't necessarily see the exact same patterns. It's possible that they could, but not always. And probably looking, each runner probably hoping to get somewhere between a 44 and a 46 at the elevator. Looks like Zoast is going to grab a nice 46. Lynx with a nice mid 45, so both runners off to a strong start here. If you look at the challenge page for this tournament, you will see that, again, this is winners round number 3. So the winner of this race will move on to winners round number 4. And those will be the last two players that have not taken a loss yet in the tournament. I don't remember exactly who they'll have to play, but I've heard that he's very talented and incredibly handsome. So good luck to either one of these runners for whoever it is that they have to play in the next round. Maybe somebody will take a look at the schedule and we'll see who it is. So now they've landed on Zebus or Zebes or however you want to pronounce it. And they're going to make their way down to collect the first two items of the game, Morphing Ball and the first missile pack. Both runners are going to be utilizing a trick called Moonfall here. Both using that in Parlor and on the climb here. I'm going to save a few seconds. Zos getting the really swag Moonfall there, going between the blocks. And Lynx getting the same time save here. So yeah, we're going to head down, grab the Morphing Ball and the missiles before heading back up to grab bombs. So this is, if you're running a normal category in Super Metroid, like a full category, then everybody has to do this sequence. And this is pretty standard for just about every single category. So, whether you're running any percent, 100%, low percent, RBO, you're going to see this kind of stuff, at the beginning of every run. So Zoast has about maybe a 2-second lead or so at the moment. And doing a little down back action. Lynx following suit here. One thing you'll notice about Zost's screen is Samus, and on Lynx's, Samus is already starting the process of turning around. That saves some frames and gets them moving in the right direction pretty quickly. If you're not careful, sometimes you can accidentally turn around before you grab the item, so you got to have a nice tight turnaround to get that strat correct. And yeah, now we're going to head to the climb. And I know for sure that Zoast uses the wall jump method. I'm fairly confident that Lynx does too. But there are actually a few different strats you can run in that room. So let's wait and see what each runner decides to do here. All right, there we go. With Zoast doing the wall jump here. Unfortunately, breaking spin there a little bit early and needing to restart that jump. Looks like Lynx is using the behemoth climb, the ledge grab climb. So yeah, I was wrong. Looks like Lynx has gone with that strat. Some people like that for the consistency. You don't really have to shoot very many things in the room. But a nice climb from both players. And now we're heading down to bombs. Looks like both players are going to, definitely Zoast here, but I think both players going to have a pretty easy sub 450 bombs time, which is a very, very strong bombs time. Even if you were to add in the time they saved from the moonfall, they both have really solid time. So this is great. Okay, so basically what you're going to see Zoast do here is start off with 5 regular shots to bomb Chorizo, and then what he's trying to do is collect 7 total missiles to finish the fight. Samus can only hold 5 missiles, so what you're trying to do essentially is fire, some of them. You want to jump up. You don't have any when you enter the room. You want to jump up and grab a few of the drops and then unload as many as you can and then go ahead and farm the rest of them. It can be kind of tricky. Sometimes BT doesn't give you the drops that you need to essentially one round him. And then even if he does give you the drop, sometimes you jump just slightly too high and you grab everything. So good to see both players execute that well. Picking up the first E-Tank of the run. And just to give you guys a heads up in terms of what this is going to look like as a new route run, they are going to be heading to Fantoon first. I need to be careful to mention here, Zoast had a bit of a problem. Oh, this is not good. Okay, let me try to explain what just happened. This is really bad. He's probably going to need to farm the bugs on this Kago here, would be my guess is what he's going to do. Yeah, basically, Zoast accidentally ran into a waiver in Terminator. And what that caused to happen is he couldn't force drop any missiles. And then the pirates were incredibly stingy, and instead of dropping missiles, they had to drop some health, and then they still didn't give him missiles near the end, so he ended up having to take some damage and farm that Kago. So that gave Lynx maybe a 5 or 6 second lead or so. But luckily, Zoast now has plenty of missiles and plenty of health, and he's in good shape. So yeah, as I was mentioning, that that energy tank is going to be the first energy tank and only energy tank that each player will get before they fight Fantoon. So since they're running new route, one thing you have to be really careful about is you want to have as much health as possible on your way up to wreck ship. So you'll see them potentially farm a little bit. We'll kind of wait and see how they choose to play it. Sometimes people will farm a bug or two in the Hellway or whatnot, but good to see that Zoast got a big health drop there. So now both players have 189 health entering Big Pink and the same number of ammo as well. So at this point, everything's equal other than just the time. And they're picking up their second missile pack, and they're going to pick up Charge Beam here. And other than that, the last item they're going to pick up before they head to wreck ship is going to be 1 pack of power bombs, and it'll be the only pack of power bombs that each runner picks up in the run unless they make a mistake. Usually the only other potential power bomb that they could pick up would be in Lower Norfair, and that's if they accidentally don't have enough power bombs or something weird happens. They would pick up the power bombs. A shame, but 95% of the time or more, that's not something that actually happens. So more than likely we will be seeing our first and only power bomb pack here shortly. And they're farming the cacks in this room that will be dropping super missiles about 99.6% of the time or so. Now you can tell that they're doing a new route, or at least Fantoon first, some version of new route, because they're heading up Red Tower here. Lynx, unfortunately, accidentally shot a little too early before jumping, so he's going to have to go back down and then refire, but he's in good shape now. Zoast moving through Hellway without issue. His health is incredibly high. This is actually a really high number of health, or high amount of health to be at this point of the run. As you can see, Lynx has 40 less health in the same spot. So one thing that Lynx can do that I have seen other runners choose not to do lately in the tournament is he has 4 supers. There will be 2 cacks on the way out. One should drop a super, and the other one will force drop health if you kill them in the right order. But sometimes people will not farm both of them to save a little time. Let's see what he chooses to do here. Okay, he is farming both, which I think is a great play. He wants to save as much health as possible. Okay, so now both runners, Zoast able to take a little bit of a lead after the mishap at Red Tower for Lynx. They're heading into one of the biggest and obviously the first choke points of the run. Zoast has the correct jump, a frame perfect jump to get a CWJ. Let's see if he can deliver. Perfect, all right. And looks like Lynx does not have the CWJ, but that's not a huge deal. There's a good backup called the horizontal bomb jump or the diagonal bomb jump that he can use to get over the moat. Let's see if he can execute that. This can be very tricky, actually. It's not like one of the worst strats in the entire world, but it doesn't feel overly natural to do. But Lynx did a great job of getting across there, so that's the first huge major choke point of the run, down for both runners. And now we're going to see them head to Fantoon, which is another big portion of the RNG in the run. Optimally, you can get a 2-round Fantoon. I know for sure Zoast is, I'm not going to guarantee because, nothing is guaranteed in this game, but knowing what I know about him and his experience, a 2-round is a very probable situation. Lynx is also good at 2 rounds, but sometimes it can be so difficult and Fantoon can kind of troll you that it might take 3. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what each runner gets, but they're going to get a slow, faster mid pattern each round. And depending on what they get, that could actually sway, the swing, so to speak, of the race between them. So Zo's getting a first round slow and getting in actually 11 missiles. So he had an excellent first round. Looks like he's most likely going to get a second round slow too, unless he gets a rare pattern. Lynx, on the other hand, getting the mid. Let's see how many missiles he gets in on the Doppler. Unfortunately, he did not have the Doppler that he wanted there, so having a 2-round here is going to be very difficult for him. Zoast, unfortunately, just misfired his super, the only super he had, but oh, good news. Fantoon just dropped an extra super for him, and I do believe that Fantoon is low enough to where Zoast could Doppler Fantoon down anyway. But yeah, there's the 3-round for Zoast. Let's see if Lynx can deliver the 3-round as well. Very good. Okay, so not a ton of difference between the two runners on Fantoon. I do believe, though, that Zoast got trolled a little bit. I think he got triple slowed. So I think Lynx was able to make up just a couple of seconds there from the moat situation. Lynx getting fantastic drops, and so does Zoast. Zoast has 6 less health, but that's kind of irrelevant. The fact that both of them left with a 190 plus health, full regular missiles, 4 supers, and full power bombs is really nice, especially the power bombs. Having power bombs full at this juncture is an incredible luxury and can actually speed up some rooms later. Zoast accidentally ran into the electricity at the top of that room, which means that he took an extra 30 damage. That is not typical, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Maybe he'll farm 1 or 2 of these creatures in this room, or maybe some of the bugs before he gets out. Ooh, that's also not good. Running into that electricity kind of messed up his flow for that room, but he was able to get a little bit of farm. He's still okay. He needs a minimum of 120 health to get through the bowling room without issue. But if he were to accidentally take a 3rd hit, he would die because you would have to have over 180. You'd have to have 181 or more to survive. So Lynx is in a position where he can do that. Zoast isn't, but now after the nice farm in that room, he's in perfect shape. So he's good to go. Zoe's pulling off the swaggy D-boost strats on the spikes, so he was able to get the jump into the claw in 2 jumps. Looks like Lynx is going for the same strat here. and did the same thing. Excellent by both runners. Great job. So at this point, this will be another good time for me to mention the sponsors of the tournament. I'm going to mention them a few times. VIE.GG, Vi, they are sponsoring this tournament for the cash prize for the top 4 runners. And one really cool thing is whoever wins this race tonight is guaranteed at least to get 3rd place in the tournament overall, because whoever wins this match goes on to the winners final, and it's a double elimination tournament. So they will the winner of this match is at worst going to be playing in the very last losers match before the very final. So whoever wins this is going to be in a very strong position in the tournament. Both players now picking up their gravity suit and will now head to Norfair to start their item collection before Lower Norfair. Okay, I anticipate Zoast potentially farming both of the supers here. I think he'll definitely at least farm one. Let's find out. Yeah, he's going to grab both. I think that's a great strat. Those 2 supers cost about maybe 30 to 40 frames each to pick up, but he's already collecting with the future in mind, knowing that he has to fight Ridley, as the next boss. And anything you can do to go ahead and collect a few supers to start that process of getting as full as possible for Ridley in the future is a good thing to do. So looks like Lynx is about a room and a half behind. Zos is now going to go up to pick up his Spacer Beam. But so far, we got a nice tight race. Both runners playing quite well here. Both going for the D-boost in the bat room, but just barely missed. One kind of final thing that both runners are going to need to do here before they actually get on the elevator is they're going to want to break the tube to Meridia. I'll try to explain briefly. Basically, the optimal strat here is to drop the bomb, and then he's going to start running, and you'll notice that he's going to shoot. Look at the screen. He shoots a shot right there at the end. If you start an action sequence before the bomb goes off, oh my goodness, we see a bit of a change here. I'll finish explaining the tube here in just a moment, but Zoast is actually going to run Kraid second. So he's running what I like to refer to as the Captain Picard route. Personally, I think this is a really smart thing to do. It's a little bit slower. The reason it's slower is because you don't have Speed Booster in this room right here, the mini Kraid room. And on top of that, on the way out, you don't have it either. And on top of that, you have to farm after you kill Ridley in this route. But what it will do is give him the Varia suit, and I anticipate potentially he might pick up the Kraid suit as well. The Kraid suit. He might pick up the Kraid E-Tank as well to give him a little bit more health before he goes to Lower Norfair. We'll see if he decides to pick that up or not. But that's a bit of a safety in a race, a great thing to do if you feel like you have a little bit of edge against your opponent. Because it protects you versus some really bad things that can happen in Lower Norfair. But as you can see, Lynx is starting to do his item collection. He picked up my favorite item, the high jump boots. He'll now head up to pick up Ice Beam, which is a beam you want to pick up now as opposed to later because you want the extra damage that it provides, and it allows you to run some cool strats before Lower Norfair. Zos, on the other hand, will head out, and we'll see if he picks up the Kraid tank before he heads down to Norfair. But to finish my thought on the tube, basically, if you start running before the power bomb explodes, then the game doesn't read you as having done an action. And the first action after the power bomb explodes is what causes the tube to break. So that's why runners will start running, but you will see them shoot before they get out of the room because that's the last action that they need to actually trigger the tube to break. So that's how they save a few frames. I really like this decision by Zoast. Again, Lynx is a fantastic runner, no question. He has a great mid 43 PB. But Zoast, on the other hand, is a runner that has multiple 41s. One of the most elite players on this planet, and even on bad runs can run faster than 99% of the people in the community. So I like this decision to go to Kraid first. It's going to lose a little bit of time. However, he's sort of banking on, feeling confident about his play in the future to make up some of that time back. And this is going to be really safe and allow him to not have any kind of catastrophe anywhere. So sometimes with the fastest runners in the world, the main thing is just to live. If they just live and finish the run, they're going to be faster than the vast majority of players. And I feel like Zos is banking on that. So Lynx now has an excellent strat there in the Bat Cave. Basically, that was about as optimal as you can get. You'll note that he has 10, 5, and 2 and almost full health. He's going to use 5 missiles to open this red door here, grab his speed booster, and then what you're going to see after that is most likely, I would guess, at least a 2 farm. He might do a 3 farm at the bugs. And the main reason he would want to do that is just to get as much health, as much ammo, especially super missiles, as possible before he starts to head down to Lower Norfair. As I mentioned earlier, you're constantly, even this early, thinking about your item and ammo management. So there's 1 farm, 2, and he's definitely doing a 3rd. He got trolled pretty bad on the first few, but the last one had a 3 super missile drop, which is excellent. 15, 8, and 2 is a good spot right here, and he should be able to fill up on power bombs before he gets down to the lava spark strat. So he's in pretty good shape. Zos nailing the ice escape here. And yeah, he's going to head over to the same area that Lynx is in now. So, it might look on the screen like Zoast is behind, but remember that he has already gone through the process of killing Kraid, collecting the various suit, and he does have an extra E-tank that Lynx will not have from here to Lower Norfair. So here's the last item Lynx is going to collect. He grabbed the wave beam, and he's going to head down now to go visit everybody's favorite space pelican. One thing that I think Lynx did is skip the wave missiles. I don't want to speak too prematurely. Oh, real quick, man. Zos just nailed like one of the hardest strats in this run. He got right side Bubble Mountain. That saves a lot of time. It's very, very tight. That was a great strat right there. Great execution. But I'm going to predict that Zos does not skip those wave missiles. Technically, by skipping those wave missiles, Lynx will run 15, 10, 5. And running 15 regular missiles and 10 supers means that he has only literally enough ammo to kill Mother Brain 1 and Torian, and he has to hit every single one of those missiles in the course of of that fight to do the cutscene. In the meantime, Lynx nailing the lava spark. That's a very tough strat. Excellent job by him to get up into Lower Norfair. Looks like he's going to opt to menu to turn off ice and spacer, so that means he's going to be using some X Factor strats on Ridley in the future. But I believe Zoast will not skip those missiles, even though it's a 7-second fanfare, roughly 6.5, 7 seconds. I don't think you actually save that much time by skipping them. It's probably more like 4 or 5 seconds because you have to alter your movement through the room. And on top of that, you can actually utilize some of those missiles against Ridley and other places later. So yeah, we're seeing Zoasty pick that up again as the favorite runner here, as the runner who potentially has edge over the opponent. I think that's a very smart tactical decision. Lynx nailing the fast pillars. Now in the worst room in the game. This is a really big choke point. Unfortunately, Lynx missed the original strat. Let's hope that he's got a good backup. But he's in... Oh, this is very, very bad. Lynx is going to have to reset the room. He has 12 health, and if he touches anything from here on before he gets to the Metal Pirates, he will be dead. Unless he opts to, I guess, potentially get the Firefleet E-Tank. Luckily, he got the strat the second time. But this is kind of what I was talking about. If Zos were to get in here and accidentally mess up that strat, he could tank a lot more damage because he's going to come in with more health, and he, basically can just, fire at the pirates or tank a little bit more damage because he's not going to have to worry from having that extra E-tank. So let's see what Lynx does here. Hopefully he'll nail the strat and be able to collect some health. Zoast unfortunately missed the strat he was going for with the lava spark. He's going to have to menu and do a gravity jump back up. Lynx got some health, but unfortunately did not get the double large health drop, which means that still anything that touches him in the next 2 rooms will kill him. If he accidentally runs into one of these Tuskegis, he will die. He's going to take 7 damage here, and he's got to get through here without getting hit. Let's see what happens. Okay, very good. The Skigas gave some good RNG, and he executed well. And now he's going to do a little KO. It doesn't really matter that he took damage there because it's going to be the same result either way. But let's see if he can get through these metal pirates. And he'll get health bombed by the first one. Oh, he missed it. He's going to... Oh, dude, that was very, very scary. Basically, we saw this happen to Farrell a minute ago, about an hour ago in his race. He got the first metal pirate off rhythm because he missed the spark in the correct place. And a lot of times there's no way to recover from that, so you'll just have to reset the room. Okay, finally, Lynx has managed to kill the first one. He got health bombs, so he's got plenty of health now. Now he will continue, but as you can see, Zoast has managed to catch up a lot here. He is only a few rooms behind, and on top of that, you know, he's already full cleared the Kraid section, which Lynx will still have to do after Lower Norfair. So I would say right now, Zoast is in a pretty commanding position in terms of the time. Note on Lynx's screen, he's got power bombs equipped. He's going to try to utilize X Factor strats. He's going to try to get 4 in, but at minimum, he's going to definitely get 2 here. And he's going to go for a third. Is Ridley going to cooperate? Very good. And nailed all 4. Excellent job. That's going to make that fight a lot faster. Now he's going to put his full beam combo back on and start the process of using charge shots and super missiles to do more damage to Ridley here. So far, a very nice fight from Lynx. Ridley is now in the pink phase, which means he has half of his health gone. But as you can see, for the first time, we'll have a little bit of a sync. We got both runners in the same room. Take a little look at Zoast's screen here. He's going to try to do the same thing with the quad X factors. Let's see if Ridley cooperates. Unfortunately, just a little bit off on that X factor. So Zoast now, you know, realizing that he's not going to be able to get a third or a fourth one in, has turned his beams on. Lynx finishing the fight using his supers. Excellent job. Let's see if he decides to grab the Ridley tank as a safety or if he's just going to take what he gets and move on. Okay, yeah, he's going to grab the Ridley tank for a safety. I think this is a great choice. He's going to be totally full on health. One small benefit that kind of is a hidden benefit from grabbing this Ridley tank is when he leaves this room, he has the opportunity to farm a few bugs on the way out. And if he remains at full health, they will either drop most likely super missiles or regular missiles, which can actually be useful. See right there, he got a forced missile drop, but then he accidentally touched the acid, so one of them dropped health. But yeah, that's one thing that he can, one kind of method he can use to farm a few more regular missiles, which actually are very valuable heading back up to the Kraid portion and Meridia portions of the run. But yeah, Zoast having a really nice, clean rest of his Ridley fight. I do not anticipate him picking up the Ridley tank because he already has the Kraid tank. He's going to get some health drops here, and at 254, even before the drops, he would have been able to probably get out of Lower Norfair without dying, even with that amount of health. 364 health is like way more than he would ever have in a normal run of his, and he's one of the most conditioned players that we have in terms of new routes, so I don't anticipate him having any trouble whatsoever with the escape. Lynx either, because he got his full 3 E-tanks as well, so at this point, both runners have the exact same items except for Zoast has 1 extra regular missile pack. I really, really like the strat that Zoast just ran. In fact, I'd never even considered this before, but he just killed that metal pirate, not because he needs health, because clearly he's got plenty of health, but he's trying to get as many supers as possible now so that he doesn't necessarily have to farm as many when he leaves Lower Norfair. One of the drawbacks of the Captain Picard route of doing Kraid second is you don't get to kill mini Kraid right before heading to Meridia, which gives you a ton of supers, and you don't get to kill Kraid as well, which, you know, has a chance to drop supers at the end of the fight. So he's thinking about that in advance and killing those metal pirates to get some extra supers. I really like that a lot. Lynx now finishing his escape, and he's in Bubble Mountain. Zoast is only about 3 rooms behind here. So Lynx is now going to head back up to the elevator to leave. Zos is going to do the Three Musketeers here. Damageless, perfect. Nicely done. Okay, watch Zos' screen real quick. If you move through this room fast enough, you can actually hit this little orb and get bounced up. Very good. You have to have a really, really fast, good timing on that room to be able to do that, and that saves a second or two to be able to bounce up there and not fall down and then have to jump back up. So great job there. Zoast is in fantastic shape. He's got 233 health, all 10 supers, which is what you want for Botwoon. And he's not going to have to stop to farm any bugs at all. So this is really, really an excellent situation for him. Lynx, on the other hand, is also in pretty good shape. He's going to be heading into Kraid with a ton of health, plenty of regular missiles, which he'll use 2 right here to shoot mini Kraid and collect 4 of those supers. And he's going to have plenty of supers to do the quick kill on Kraid. So at this point, you can see, like, literally right now, okay, 2950 is when Zoast hits the top of the Norfair elevator. We'll see what time Lynx gets there, and that's how far ahead Zoast is. So at this point, Zoast is, not only ahead in terms of future game, but like literally ahead based on where he currently is. So Lynx now cleaning up Kraid. Hopefully he'll get some super drops here. Yeah, he got plenty. Perfect. He's going to be able to fire. If you take a look at his ammo, Mini Kraid's going to drop 4 supers like 99.6% of the time. And so what you're going to see him do is he's going to fire 2 regular missiles at Mini Kraid immediately upon entering the room. That'll get him to 10, which is full supers. And then on top of that, he'll probably fire maybe 3 more missiles or so at the pirates for the rest of the room. But he's going to have perfect ammo heading to Meridia as well. So here he goes with that ammo management. Very nice. And a perfect jump in the room. Zoast right now, moving on to Botwoon. He's going to start off with an X Factor strat and then try to pump 6 supers into Botwoon. Let's see what happens. Good start. This is actually the worst pattern. I love what Zoast did here. I love this strat. He actually, on purpose, jumped into Botwoon for the purposes of getting some iframes, and then he used his iframes to, jump through Botwoon and hit him a few times. Looks like Lynx hit that elevator at 31, maybe 8 or so. So it looks like he's about maybe a minute and 20 seconds behind, roughly, from where Zoast is. Okay, Zoast grabbing the Botwoon tank, which he doesn't have to do that, considering that he was already at 3. But I like the idea of getting a safety, especially since he's already ahead. He's going to try to pull off the full happy here. Nails it. That's a very tough trick. I think he's going to grab that super. He tried to, but just barely missed. Sometimes when that Metroid drops a super, runners will try to get it because they're thinking in advance about Torian. Torian in New Route is basically, not every time, but in a lot of cases, it's going to be a situation where you get there with very few supers. And sometimes the Metroids don't drop a ton. So usually people, if they see a super along the way, they will try very hard to pick it up. So Lynx is going to start his Botwoon fight. Zoast, on the other hand, is going to attempt a 2 and blue strat for Dragon. Let's see how it starts. Good start. All right, looks like there is no swoop, so he's going to pump some missiles and then try to finish with a spark, and he nails it. Now he's going to go for the double bomb jump method. He is not going to go for a spike suit. That means that he is going to forgo the drops of Dragon and just immediately leave the room. It's going to save a few seconds. And he's going to activate his blue suit right up here and jump up here and do a reverse halfie. Perfect. Lynx, on the other hand, unfortunately activated his spark a little too early in the previous room for full happy, so he's going to have to maneuver through this room, the Coliseum here, with wall jumps, but really excellently done. As a backup strat, he really nailed that, especially getting that D-boost off the spikes to jump on those last spikes with his iframes at the end. That saves a second or two in terms of wall jumps. So at this point, pretty much the only thing left for Zoast is he is going to head to Torian. But if you look right now, this is something I want to acknowledge that I do not think he's going to do this, but is technically an option. If he were, to basically think, well, I'm really, really far ahead. The only way that I can get caught here is if I were to die. He actually could opt to not farm at all and instead just go to the ship and get refill. He would refill all of his health and all of his ammo. But I can already tell based on the fact that he's dropping a power bomb here that he is not going to do that. Instead, he's going to farm here for a little bit. It would definitely be a lot slower to refill at the ship. Not something you would ever want to do in a PB attempt, but in a race scenario where you're already ahead, not a bad play. But it looks like he opted to not do that. Lynx cleaning up Dragon, no sweat, using a gravity jump to get out of the room. He keeps his blue suit, and he will also be doing the reverse halfie here, so great job. And now we'll see Zoast head over. I anticipate probably he'll do the... oh no, he's going to try to jump through with the blue suit. Ooh, that is a really tight strat. Excellently done there. Going to shoot this door open, get a speedball through that door. One small thing a lot of people might not be aware of is door transition time. The camera in the game can make a door transition longer or shorter depending on where you allow the camera to get to relative to the door. In that particular room, by doing a speedball through that door, it actually lowers the camera a little bit, which makes the transition actually faster. So you save some frames versus just running down through the room without doing that speedball at the end. So some pretty cool small tech. And even though it might sound, at first like, oh, it's just 10 frames or whatever, those frames add up a lot over the course of the run. So cool to see that. So Zoast is now waiting in G4, getting ready, and Lynx is heading to the surface. Okay, so now we will start the Torian process here. Zeus needs to be careful. He's got really low health and low ammo count. He runs some very, very advanced strats in here, though. These are strats you will not typically see from very many runners at all. Ooh, man, the super drops have been atrocious so far. He's definitely going to need to group these 3 Metroids here and use regular missiles. And he didn't get a single super missile in that room. He has to get to at least 9. He's going to have to kill this first batch. He only got 2 there. He's going to have to kill the first batch, go out, and then come back in the room. This is very unfortunate. If you kill every Metroid in a room, then it won't, like, even if you leave the room, it won't respawn. So he's doing this on purpose. Okay, now he feels pretty comfortable, like he'll get at least 1 here, which he didn't. Unbelievable. No matter what happens, Zoast is going to have to use regular missiles to kill one of the doors and then refill those missiles before he can go down to Mother Brain. And the really interesting part is this is exactly why I want to get on a pedestal for a moment. This is exactly why it's a good decision if you're the favorite runner to get extra missile packs, even packs that you wouldn't normally pick up in like a world record attempt or something, because if he did not get that extra wave pack, he would actually lose even more time by having to run forward into Torian to kill more doors with missiles before having to backtrack to refill. So this is this is a really good thing that he ended up getting that extra missile pack. Now he's going to have enough missiles to at least get through Mother Brain, but only if he doesn't miss any. By the time he opens the second door, he's going to have 20 and 6. He cannot miss any supers, but he can miss 2 missiles. Whereas if he did not get that extra missile pack, he would not have that luxury. So good to see a safe strat kind of pay off there. On the flip side now, Lynx has been moving forward pretty quickly. Zoast got the baby skip. Let's see if Lynx can get it next. Zoast having a bit of a trouble with the Zeb skipped there, but getting through without too much issue by the end. And Zos can only miss 2 regular missiles. And he is getting trolled, but luckily was able to fix the issue. Lynx, unfortunately, getting grabbed by the baby there. Baby skip is a very tough trick. Not something, I mean, you know, obviously anybody who wants to speedrun this game can take any approach they want, but not really a trick I would recommend to newer players until you reach, you know, a certain threshold of feeling comfortable in the game. But that trick does save a good amount of time. You know, once you get to the point where you start to get it, you can save anywhere between maybe 20 to 25 seconds, depending on how crisp of a skip you get. So Lynx will lose a little bit of time versus Zoast in that regard, although he will get a little bit of it back considering the fact that Zoast had to refill on those missiles. But what you're seeing right now is Zoast has to hit Mother Brain 2 here 60 times with his beam combination. Ice, Wave, and Spacer combo does 300 damage per charge shot. So that's 60 total shots, and she will start to catch up after over 75% of her health is gone. So that's shot 46 for Zoast. So he's got about maybe 10 more shots here that he's got to do before she will be done. And then once she stops fighting, he will need to, like, it's not mandatory, but to save a little time, he's going to run into her to get below 400 health. He wants to be at 399. He wants to be above 300, but below 400. So now he's in perfect shape. The rainbow beam will happen, and he'll get to chill for a second, and we'll watch the baby cutscene. Meanwhile, the runners are now in the same room again on the same fight. Lynx is doing his fight, and he has to do the same thing Zos did. Hit 60 shots and avoid damage. In particular, he has to be a little bit more careful since he only has 3 tanks. A lot of times people think that the catch-up beam is the only kind of dangerous part of the Mother Brain fight, but that's not true. As you can see, she can troll you sometimes when she drops bombs. She fired a French fry just as he was jumping over that bomb, and he took 30 damage. Now he took 20 more damage from jumping on that bomb. He's in a bit of a tight spot here because now if he gets hit by 2 onion rings in a row or anything like that, he could die. Let's hope that that does not happen. But the onion rings in particular are the most dangerous attack that Mother Brain has. If you jump wrong, you can actually get hit by multiple of them, and they do 20 damage each. They don't grant iframes. So there have been many runs that I've lost and other people have to a volley of onion rings at the wrong time. So hopefully all the kind of weirdness of her attacks is over now, and he can move smoothly through the last maybe 8 shots or so here. Very nice. So Lynx is now safely through his fight, just as Zoast is getting ready to start Mother Brain 3. He'll have the Hyper Beam. I can't remember the exact number. I actually never count it myself. I believe it's around 36 shots, though, something in that ballpark. He's got to hit 36 shots on Mother Brain's head here, and then he will start the escape sequence. All right. So now we are moving to the escape sequence, and I say this pretty often. Obviously, mistakes can happen at any point in this run, but the escape is actually one of the least demanding portions of the run from a technical level. Not to say that it's easy, it's just that if you look at what you have to do to move through the rooms fairly quickly versus a lot of other portions of the run, it's not too bad. So he's getting the last moonfall there. He's going to climb up the side here and get ready to do his final spark for the game. He's going to be going for a diagonal spark here. Nailed it. And in the meantime, Lynx is going to be standing up here with the Hyper Beam to do his 36 shots into Mother Brain 3. And looks like if Zoast doesn't get trolled too bad by the patterns here, it looks like he's going to comfortably have a 43, despite all the safeties and whatnot, and the issues with the drops from the Metroids. So GG to Zoast, running at 43.55, which is really an incredibly impressive time, especially given the fact that he had to, number one, farm Metroids multiple times in a row, which you would never see happen. That actually adds a ton of time to the run. So he had to refill after that, which is something that you would normally not have to do. And he did some safeties. So for him to run a 43 time with all of the bad luck and the safeties just is an indication of how skilled he is. So GG to him. He will be moving on to the winners round of 4. Yeah, so let's see if we can potentially get him in for an interview. Meanwhile, we have Lynx doing his final moonfall of the run as well, and he's going to get ready for his final spark here. Nailed it as well. This is a really solid run by Lynx too, especially considering that he had to have some issues with the worst room in the game and reset the room and do a few things to farm to keep himself alive. The fact that he's running a mid 45 here is actually very impressive. So great job by him, a great display of his abilities. And Lynx is definitely not out of this tournament yet. This is his first loss. So he will be moving to the losers bracket, and where he will await to see who his future opponent will be. But yeah, so GG to Lynx. Nice 45-28.
What's up, man?
Hey, Zoast, how are you, man?
I'm okay. I kind of want a beer after that run. God.
I was gonna say, I think you deserve maybe one or two. I hate to sort of like get on my pedestal, but I actually talked extensively about how smart I thought it was that you picked up the wave missiles. When you were in the process of running. I know that's something you don't normally do in your PB attempts, but even in that situation, you had to keep farming because the Metroids just trolled you hard. But as it turns out, those missiles actually did help you save a little bit of time in that circumstance.
Yeah.
So talk me through a little bit about, you did the Picard route, stuff like that, which I think is really cool. You obviously are aware of the fact that, basically you and Oates are clearly, with no disrespect to any other runner, but clearly, a league ahead of anybody else in terms of the ability to run time. So you grabbing some safeties and doing that and still able to finish comfortably ahead of people. Talk to me a little bit about, the process of thinking through your strats or your sort of strategy for this run today.
Well, yeah. Can you hear me? I'm sorry, my mic unplugged at some point.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a tournament setting, so it's different, like, from just a random run or a race with many people. It's very different, obviously, because of this specific sort of dynamic where if you feel like you're sure enough with your execution, your movement, that you can catch up time. I really should have done it in my last 2 matches. I just went regular route for new route last 2 matches, but it was really dumb for me to do that. Because Picard, I think, what was it, like 10 or 15 seconds, and like it's way more liable that I'm gonna lose over something like ammo or dying than
Yeah.
that. Unless it's Oates. Again, like you said, no disrespect to anybody else in the tournament, but we've just put more time into it, I think, this category, and I've been around for 6 years, so
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think that you guys have, you've earned your incredible safety net, if you will, and I do think the Captain Picard route is a really smart thing to do because, as you mentioned, I mean, I've been doing it in several of my runs too.
Here's one thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, here's one thing I was thinking when I was doing a run. One interesting thing about Picard is if you can watch the race, like I don't know of any tournament you can't watch the race, but if you can watch the race, you can get that extra safety early, going to crate early, and you can sort of gain a little bit of time being risky later if you want to skip like the 4th E-tank. So that's one option I was thinking about during a race, is like if I had a really terrible Lower Norfair or something, or if Lynx was just tearing it up, I figured I could skip that Batu tank if I really needed to. I was just thinking about that during a race, so it's just kind of like does have a little bit of flexibility to it. Not, I mean, it's not a big deal, but like it's something.
Yeah, I agree. And you could say the same about even if you're doing PB attempts. Like obviously you can't do this because your run is so unbelievably tight. You have to cut every single corner. But someone like
Yeah.
me, I can grab the Ridley tank and then play more aggressively on the way out of Lower Norfair, and then depending
Sure.
on drops later at Batoon, I could skip the Batoon tank or something. So, but one thing that you did that I had never considered before, because I've actually done a good bit of Picard, is you always have to farm after Lower Norfair to get the supers for Meridia.
Uh huh.
And you stopped and farmed one of those metal pirates, even though you had plenty of health, and that really I was like, man, that's a really smart call. So is that something you plan to do, or did it just kind of like, did you just remember on the way?
No, I didn't plan to do it. I was just thinking about it. It's kind of a toss up a little bit as far as just pure supers, getting pure supers. But obviously, you're liable to get a bunch. I mean, it's like what 6 drops or it's something like 6 or 7 drops for it's like 4 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you're liable to get. I mean, I actually got lucky. That's one part in the run. I actually got lucky. I got like 4 or 5 supers,
Yeah,
and
you got the low ice dream drop right there.
right, that made it, definitely worth it doing. I didn't I haven't really considered that beforehand, doing like, what was optimal between doing that or not, but, I mean, it makes it you're already safe kinda low North, but if you do that, you're, like, super safe, and you might have that chance where you won't have farm, which is kinda cool. So I kinda like it. I haven't really went through the percentages or anything like that, but, yeah, I kinda think it's a good way to maybe avoid farming, once you get out of low North.
Yeah, I agree. Well, before we wrap this thing up, I guess since I've got you here, I guess you're aware that the next race that you have to run is against me.
Yeah, I'm aware of this.
So I know that you're very nervous, and I know you're concerned. And I just want to say in front of everybody right now, I'm going to speak for pretty much everybody in the entire Super Metro community. I don't think anybody's going to respect you unless you run old route against me.
Hey, that was a one-time deal, man.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think everybody's going to know what I'm referring to, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with
Yeah.
Zoast. But
Yeah, that
anyway,
was that troll, man. Ugh.
yeah, people say the weirdest things, but long story short, I'm really looking forward to racing you. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I do have a little bit of bad news actually. Apparently, according to the schedule, we have to do our run either tomorrow or Friday. So I'm going to be messaging you as soon as this is over to see if we can go ahead and get it set up. And
That's fine.
sorry for the rush, but that's just kind of what it is. So one more time, I want to say thank you to VIE.GG, the sponsors for this tournament. And I even wanted to ask you about that real quick, Zost. I think it's awesome that we have a company willing to sponsor a Super Metroid tournament, put it on, get a lot of people together, see the results of the races, and have a cash prize. Is this the first kind of regular Super Metroid tournament that has been sponsored like this that you know of?
Big John did a thing where he did like it was called Speedrun Battle Arena, where it was just like a one-off race where there was a cash prize.
Oh, okay. I
But
didn't know
that's the
that.
only other thing I know about Super Metroid that's done it. But yeah, I agree. I mean, you look at other games, the big games, they get corporate sponsors. That's how they get their prize pools, and that's how they make it run, like financially, I think. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it could ever be as big as some like big RTSs or anything, but yeah, it's cool to see. I mean, especially for somebody that spends so much time doing it like me. So yeah, I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, GG man, you had a great run, and I'm looking forward to our race as well. So I'll let you have the last word and say your good nights to everybody. But thank you guys for watching. It's been a great day of Super Metroid, and Zost, I'll let you take it out.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm excited for our race. GG to Links. Thanks everybody for watching, and appreciate you commentating, Kip. You always do a great job. Have a good night, everybody.